Welcome to Tukuza Plus. My good name is DJ Kroba. That is a classic hip hop jam finishing right there from the album Mtaa Mentality. This was the title track of that album, the first album Juliani ever released. 2008? 2009 there. Mtu alikuwa anatoa album 2008-2009. Usimsanii wa juzi. It's a clear indication, man. That's a classic. Kuna place anasema alikuwa ganaendesha Mercedes. Alikuwa
mafans ataka kubai Mercedes.
Niendeshe Mercedes. Aliendesha Mark akachana na Mark buda. Aliachana nayo ili mtoka
akaingia ingine.
Anaendesha convertible.
Inaitwa Maras?
Marking scheme, from Mark to marking scheme.
Na sasa unatoka hapo unaenda kuingine.
Unatoka kuingine, God willing.
Tunachanga sahi.
Buda lazima uchange.
Karibu sana. It's a pleasure having you. Na watu washaanza kuchanga Kroba. Leo kuna moto bana. We are talking about two things. Title versus function. Na tumemention vitu viwili.
Yes.
Someone has a Christian title, but then the music they do does not have a Christian title, does not have a Christian function. Na sijui kama Juliani ako hapo. Ya pili ni mtu ambaye ako na Christian function, but does not have a Christian title.
Yes.
So tutakuwa na Kidum. Tutakuwa na Juliani. Tunaanza na Juliani. Lots of responses coming in. There's Noreen McDowell anasema title and function, this discussion is finally happening. Anasema at Juliani Kenya at Kibindo Kidum.
Yes.
Alafu amesema I'd rather listen to number one and Mungu anaweza by Kidum than some gospel musicians with zero content. Na wako wengi sana. So
very many Kenyans are there. Go on, Anthony.
Okay. Wacha tuende kwa Juliani. We'll be getting into that. Leo kutachomeka.
Asulubiwe.
Niaje Juliani? It's been a long time. Karibu sana man.
Asante. Kroba many bless. And of course kama kawaida.
Kama kawaida. Pleasure and thank you. Uchalia kukuja ulimreward. DJ.
No, we were doing some. I was doing a media party, and then we asked people online to give us some of the people that they think support local music and even support my music. So of course DJ Kroba alikam sana. So of course we talked with Amiran Kenya, and Amiran gave him a farmer's kit. Ya kwanza ushamba, uanze ushamba, uanze ukulima. So I think nashukuru sana that.
Thanks man, I'm humble.
Yeah man. Na alibaya album yangu.
But it is very important for guys to buy albums.
Support local.
Sikuange watu Juliana imetoa album tunaongeanga tu.
Noma sana.
It's good to buy.
Leo ni moto. Question number one. Juliani umeokoka?
2005 I can remember it. Machozi metoka kwa bleachers huko tukiwa wapi?
Nairobi
Lighthouse Church. Nimekaa hapo juu. Nimekaa hivi alafu nikasikia uwepo wa Bwana, nikateremka tu peke yangu chini mpaka pale chini kwa
track
Matini. Anaitwaje?
Pastor
Don Matini.
Yes.
Kainua mkono. Nikapiga magoti. Nikasema Bwana naomba uingie kwa roho yangu.
Come on.
2005 my life have never been the same again.
Come on. Kwa hivyo Juliani ameokoka. Si story.
I have witnesses.
Hiyo mimi naweza vote.
Unaweza vote.
Tuliokoka nearly the same time.
At the same time.
In fact ni the same year.
We were in the School of Leaders
tulia pamoja.
For a year. Tukaenda tukapata upako wa Bwana ukachapwa na pastor.
Unaekelewa mkono kila Sunday.
Kwa hivyo mmeenda School of Leadership.
Tumeenda School of Leadership. Yes.
Na mkokoka.
Kokoka.
Bwana akaingia ndani ya roho.
Jitumbukiza ndani.
Na ametenda mema. Kuna watu wengi sana Juliani wanauliza Uchalini gospel artist, Uchalini nani?
Mimi kusema kweli mimi hata mimi nimechanganyikiwa. Nimuulize swali mara moja mpaka anza kujishuku. Mungu wangu aonekani. So inaonyesha maybe I need to get close to my God so that his presence can be seen in my life. Ama pengine nyingi hamna issues, unajua watu wana issue, but I think me I'm a gospel artist specifically because I always profess my faith. I might not do the same way, I might not be perfect in and how sometimes I do things. But I profess my faith anyway. Actually, the reason why I travel so much is because of that. Because people are guaranteed that nikienda show zao stalewa, I'll show up on time, and I have some values.
Integrity.
That's why I'm being a gospel artist plus. Not that unapatwa do because all the gospel artists pangeni line huku, all the secular nyinyi endeni nyumbani, nyi peweni pesa. Nah, it's because when you go kwa show, you show up on time. Aulewi ushikanishikani na warembo huko. You don't do things. So being a gospel artist is one of the titles that you should have. Actually, you should have it in your
portfolio.
Because it has integrity. It has a title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ala, swali lingine. Tunazungumza kuhusu Christian title, non-Christian function. Wewe umesema wewe ni gospel artist. Mbona unaimba ngoma si za gospel?
Mimi naimba ngoma za gospel kuliko kumpa hapa kwa hii Kenya. Prove me. Take my first album, my second album, my third album. Listen to it from the first song to the last song.
Utawala ni ngoma gospel?
Yeah. According to Isaiah 58, Isaiah 58, ukiona wanyonge wanaudhulumiwa, talk about it. If you ukiona sijui nini nafanyika, do it. Ukiona the poor, do something about it. That's what Utawala was doing, ilikuwa nafanya.
Kwa hivyo understanding yako gospel music ni nini?
Understanding yangu ni that professing, first of all, believe in your heart and confess with your mouth first.
Yes.
And then the second thing is that Christ, live out Christ. Usiseme to Christ, he lives. Make those living ones. If Christ alisema, take care of the poor, do that. If Christ said, when you see something when it comes to leadership and it's not, do that. Say it, speak it. And that's what Christ did, and that's what it should be in the first place.
Christ akitandika wase viboko.
Hey,
na kitanma tables.
Alitan tables.
Hiyo inakuinspire.
Of course, because if we imagine Christ was the most controversial, alikuwa socialite, celeb, everything else. No, because Christ was the person king a place, presence yake kwanza na felt because he's God. And now the second thing that was nini, so kuna mogopa because alikuwa anakukemea, anakwambia ukweli. But tunaambiwa pia there's a time ana show mapenzi, ana show
a tough end.
And a tough end na kuna side ingine.
Do you think the challenge is the consumers of the music are not getting it?
Actually, you're right, because maybe they're not the target market. You have to think about it, you know. When I'm rapping, when I'm nasema squeeze na dark pages of Bible, sitaki mama yangu hafai kuelewa nasema nini. Wala maboy mimi na hang out mtaani ndio nafaa kuelewa nini nasema. Because they are the ones who I'm trying to reach to. They are the ones who I interact with every day. When I want mama yangu au nini, aimbe, enda sikiza esta home. But kwa album yangu, my third album, by the way, in stores, ukienda sikiza the second song, inaongea kuhusu Jehovah. Inaongea kuhusu Jehovah, how Jehovah has been to my life. That's the kind of song I'll push to my mother, and I'll push to my sisters. Unaona? So also when you're doing when I'm writing music, I'm not just writing music, hit
mass market.
No, it's not about mass market. You're targeting.
But you see, Juliani, you're in a state where you are now a nationwide appealing brand.
Yeah, true.
Even to the older generation.
You think so? One of the things that I know, and I'm quite, Kwanza, I'm so keen on, is that the reason I'm here right now is not because I started being a national. I started somewhere. Where did I start?
Yes.
I started with people who I was interacting with every day. When tuko na dread tunafukuzwa kwa kanisa na watu uko fulani, unaona, it didn't make sense to me. Na nifukuza kanisa juu mimi niko na dread na mimi nimekuja kuomba Mungu, unaona, and now I'm trying to address that issue. Unaona, kwa my first song, Jesus Gnosis, it was one of the biggest songs ever in the gospel fraternity. Because nobody was talking about the kind of thing that I was talking about. Staki ni baki rap check chapa hapa, ukitaka kunifukuza usiniambie toka, ongea chafu, si unajua nimeokoka. Niliamini alipoingia mlemavu akatoka na msalaba, alipotoka na whatever mabega. Unaona, like it's everything I spoke about is because in the gospel fraternity people talked about things on Sunday. Tumshukuru Mungu, but amelala njaa. Tumshukuru Mungu, but amedhulumiwa. Tumshukuru Mungu, but hana kitu. But there are sometimes you want to tell God, hey, Mungu pia bana. Kwani mimi nitakuwa na shida every day. You want to say that in your song. You want to tell God.
From real.
Be real with God, because that's the kind of prayer we do in our closet. When Peketoni people are dying, you ask God, why? why that was
That is realistic.
That's realistic. Yes. You have to address that in your music. You have to address that in everything. Have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday kind of songs, not Sunday songs.
Juliani, unaenda church.
Nimeshout sana pole.
No, leo hiyo ndio direction tunaenda leo.
Hiyo direction tunaenda leo.
Unaenda church.
Pako bwana.
Yes.
Unaenda church.
Yes.
I'm sure when you go to church, there's a certain perception ambayo watu wa gospel wanafaa kuwa nayo. Na kanisa ukiimba na dara pages za Bible, that is compromise.
That is compromise, but it was one of the biggest songs ever. It was one of my biggest songs ever. You know why? Because whoa. Unaona?
So song kama hiyo ulidu for the sake of being big, sake ya brand yako kuwa kubwa, ama sake ya kuminister to
I was
someone?
big before that. As an artist, I was big before that. Just because certain people didn't know me, it didn't mean me. I was big. I was still #1 in the streets. So I wasn't doing it for. And before that, I did Mta Mentality. It was an album after Mta. It was a song after Mta. And my Mta Mentality concert was walija. So I was trying to be big. What I was trying to do is communicate. And one of the things that has been happening now, if mtu amepatwa kisu, some people tumia kukunga watu, wengine atatumia kukata mboga. Moto saa ikiwaka saa kuna ile ta destroy place, but kuna ile inapika chakula. So you use something that was so deemed as evil, you use it for good, because that's how we were in the we were, sisi ni wala wase tuko na chujwa, wazazi wakituona nyuma yao wanaficha kibeti. But now God is using us. So it's the same thing.
Shikilia, the conversation has just begun. Oh, so tutakuwa tunaendelea na Juliani. Leo kutawaka moto. We have another guy coming over. His name is Kidum. His name is Kidum. Kidum does not have a Christian title, but Kidum sings music that has Christian function. Tutakuwa tunataka kuelewa. Kwa hivyo keep your questions coming for Juliani. Tuulize maswali yoyote. Today we are ready.
Moja nimepata tweet.
Nasema tu tafadhali.
No. Na tweet nimepata. Msema muuliza. Meaning ya hii song ni nini? We're going to play this song. The song is known as 4x6.
Oh, please.
Oh, please. I'll explain when we come right back.
La 4x6. Tuone kichwa kidogo. 4x6 from the album Pulpit Kwa Street.
Yes. Hey. The second album.
Juliani, second album after Mta Mentality. Sasa kuna Exponential Potential.
Yes.
Hiyo song Juliani. Mazume umeweka umejipaka na unatoa machozi ya damu. Na huko kwa kitanda, hiyo ni mashetani ni?
Hiyo kwanza after hapo nikae kwa Illuminati.
Uliambiwa ni Illuminati.
Modo, Illuminati Oshio, unajua like
4x6 na manja nini?
4x6, I think one of the best things, that's why I always recommend people to buy albums, because once you buy albums, you understand where an artist is coming from, because from the first song to the last song, there's something they're trying to do. It's a piece of art. It's like a piece of art. Every piece has...
So it's like a juggle. It's a picture.
Every piece contributes to the full...
Inetango aje? Jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
So every song is feeling a part.
Now, mtu akibuy album, they will understand more. But let me talk about 4x6. I can only do that by the lyrics. Mkono mtupu haulambwi. Mesao. Mkono mtupu ya lambwi, but na kwa baridi, haiko busy. Una njaa na kufa chewing gum. Uko jogging na simama kupatia lift. Usaidi zingine, saidi yangi sa zingine. Cry river. Unaona? What I'm trying to say is that watu wanatry kusaidia. Mimi niko kwa shida, mtandao wangu ni 4x6. I cannot do anything. My government cannot do anything. Politicians, pesa yangu yani ile hizo lyrics mbona nasahau. Unaona? Like allowance, if you listen to the lyrics when I talk about allowance, politicians baraku VAT bara kutumia kufanya vitu za kumsaidia kwa nchi, anatumia ka entertainment allowance. Unaona? I talk about things that doesn't happen. Ghetto kuna njaa, no? Ghetto kuna njaa? Hapo. Hii salary ingenunua nyama, but lipa taxes. Politician apate entertainment allowances. Hiyo naambia mtoto wangu hivyo. Hii pesa ingenunua nyama, but nalipa taxes. Politician alipe entertainment allowances. Unaona, ghetto kuna njaa na sewage zimejaa. I make sense. I'm trying to just create a picture of what's happening.
Oh,
people are being
the situation.
The situation is at 4x6.
Governance.
I think people were expecting a more direct video.
And that's what they always expect.
You see, it's Juliani kuna the mentality. Kuna the
perception.
The album, there's a reason we term mentality, is because there is an approach system. So because they don't hawapatani na 4x6, kwa nini jipaka uso? Kwa nini nime unaniket?
But the people who listen, one of the most beautiful things about my music is that 2 years later, ndio mseo kama niambia, hey, Buddha, I got it, finally. Unaona, so mimi sina haraka na watu. I have patience, a little bit patient when it comes to how I do my music.
Two questions. Hapo tu 4x6, mimi nazungumza kwa niaba ya mwananchi.
Mwananchi azungumziwe, representiwe.
Representiwe. How is that a gospel song? That's question number 1. Question number 2, wewe kwako does art go before the content, or rather the
belief system?
The belief system, the music you want to put. Gani inatangulia?
The belief system comes first. My faith comes first, and that's what inspires me to do everything that I do. But I chose to do things differently. I know my mandate. 10 years ago, nilikuwa kwa mawe and I can never sahau. Nilikuwa kwa mawe kwa mtaani. And then God made it clear to me, my mandate. My mandate as a Christian, my mandate as a
and wewe kama Julius
Owino, and ulilie
watoto wangu.
Yeah, that's the first thing. Art is just a tool you use now, because instead of just saying that art is how you package that message, because people won't get that message. If you tell people wewe unaenda kukufa, wewe unamodo mawe, unaona, but if you tell them in a certain way, they'll get it. Unaona, art is just a way of capturing that message. Unaona, so when I do 4x6, I'm not saying it's gospel, it's gospel song, but if you go back to my catalog as a musician, you won't be surprised, because you know my thought process and you know what I've been thinking. And I also understand that it's not for everybody. My music is not for everybody. I would love it to be the whole world and the whole country to love it, but it's targeted. It's targeted.
The Christian lawyers, I think it's an association, Christian lawyers. Kuna kitu moja huwa na push inaitwa social justice. Na I'm supporting you. Na hautataka kuwa kalia ngumu. Mseme nyinyi wa Kristo, nyinyi maloya. Munafaa kuwa munasema law, the Christian kind of law is this. Why are you pushing social justice?
Social justice, because that's my mandate. I understand my mandate from the word God.
Yes.
I have a vision. I have a picture of the end, what God gave in my mind, kwa hati yangu. And I have to live by that. I'm sorry if and I'm not sorry actually.
You shouldn't be sorry.
I'm not sorry. What I'm trying to do is basically is that it's targeted. Unaona, nikipatana na mama kwa barabara wanaambia kijana, I wish watoto wangu wangekuwa wewe. Because if you look at other rappers that I came up with, none of them are anywhere.
Very true.
None of them are anywhere. Mimi ndio niko hapa because I understood my mandate and I was given by Christ. Una get? But also I understood that being a Christian is not enough sometimes when it comes to the marketplace. Because in the marketplace, how do you convince people that you're telling the truth? You use the art form. You use an art form. You use a tool that resonate with their thought process. Unaona. So when you go places, leave alone hata si controversial. Nimeenda nikaperform kwa bar. Mara si moja, mara mbili, mara kata.
Hata pia mimi nimeperform kwa bar.
Unaona. Nimeingia hivi ndani. You know, one of the things that do happen nini? More than 5 people in one club ananishika kando. Ananita kando kwanza kuniambia about Christ. And they're telling me how they're sinning and they want to leave. That is priceless. I cannot see hakuna kitu naweza nini hiyo. For me that's priceless.
Okay, it is. I totally.
Yes.
God akikucheki Christ vile anakuchekisa hii. Unaona Christ ana smile anasema, my son, well done. You're doing a great job.
The only thing that Christ anasema place yuko, that's a man after my own heart. That's all. That's all. That's what I want him to say. That's what I want God to say about me.
This is a man after my own
That's
heart.
what I want. Yeah. Nataka tu nikifika huko God ananiambia Buddha ni kitu ngumu lakini you're a man of
after my own heart.
At least you're sincere. What I know about myself, I might not be the best person in this world. But I'm sincere. My heart is clean. I'm sincere about how I do things.
And that's David, eh?
Huyo ni Daudi.
Daudi alitupa mbao. Lakini he was a man after God's own heart. Sincerity.
Yes. Yeah. Don't we have a show, man?
Kiduma kopale anapakwa pakwa.
Kopale anapakwa pakwa. We're going to play one more song.
Yes, and when we come back, we'll be finishing with Juliani.
Yes.
So if you have any other question, please, zilete haraka tumaliza naye. Atatueleza pia kuhusu this album ako kwa shilingi.
Ala, amejiweka kwa shilingi.
Amejiweka kwa shilingi.
Mkristo atauliza kwa nini hajajiweka kwa Biblia?
Yes. Na Uhuru Muigai, my guy. There's a guy who ana mpango hapa.
Okay.
Sijui ni kupendua ama ni nini. When we come back in a short while right here on Tukuza.
Na mtauliza Juliani urembo sio Q-Tex.
Inaingiana
aje. Buy the album. It's a piece of art, all right? The song is known as Biceps this was from the first album.
Mtaa
Mentality. Make sure you get all albums, and of course, let hata ikae hapa kwa DJ.
Yes.
Nataka kuonesha mimi ndo nibebe wasiseme ati wako ambiwa. Modo.
Onyesha.
Yeah. Hata iko na lyrics so that usiseme hukuelewa.
Oh, iko na lyrics printed.
So the reason why we had to put the lyrics.
Let us kushikia Juliani ukionganga.
Utaki nionekana kwa TV.
Explain to me.
The reason why it has the lyrics is because I understood that people take time before they get it. But one of the most beautiful things is that when they get it, wanakupigia simu hata. They cheat, yeah? Unaona? So na mimi sitaki niwe obvious saa zingine. I don't want to be ati sasa ati nakwambia kitu hivi. Chambua, umo kichwa kidogo. I'm intelligent kidogo, Buddha. So
maybe it's the people who think you're too poetic for them.
No, actually, majority like what I do. You know that, huh?
No, you're diehards.
No. It's not about diehard.
Majority.
It's about Kenyans. And one of the things that I realize about art, people don't need to understand everything. They just need to pick something at that particular time. You know, and one of my best songs ni by Shusho.
Christina Shusho.
One of them, mmoja mimi nilikuwa nasikia, hey, that's a good gospel song. Until one asubuhi. Siku moja nimeamka usiku nimeshindwa kulala nikaisikia. It was so relevant. Na hii jamaa mpya huyu.
Mgani?
Huyu anaitwa si Bahati. Ni Kikuyu, ni huyu jamaa ana dread mpya
Kwame. Kwame is dope.
Kwame 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
5 a.m. in the morning sina usingizi Buddha. Ni Kikuyu yote modo. Nikeka play kwa YouTube. Song ilini bless. At that particular time it became relevant. At that particular time it was a rhema word for me.
Wow.
So it doesn't need to be relevant hizo time zote.
Rhema word.
It doesn't have to be it has to be a song is particular is designed for a certain moment. When a certain moment that not feel like to dance, there's a certain moment you just want to relax.
Yes.
There's a certain, so if you listen to an artist album, judge them by what they produce. And I have 3 albums for you to go through.
Yes.
So this is the third album, and it's exponential potential. So when you listen to it through, you listen to it every day.
Shikilia tu. Ongea kama unashikilia
napenda sasa naongeaje jumi napenda wacha nitikise kichwa nikiongea. Anyway, if you listen to this album throughout, then you'll understand the deepness and the secrets that God reveal that I'm using this album to do. So you go to your tomorrow and I expect kukuwe na lines zimejaa kwa Orange Shop near you. Go to an Orange Shop near you, Orange Kenya shop near you, and get the album. And then after listening to it, after a week, please, at Juliani Kenya is my number, or is my Twitter account, or my number is 0772 0772 916694.
Umetoa namba kabisa.
Rudia tena.
0772 916694.
Unajua kuna kitu moja muelewi Juliani na ndugu. That is his private number. utampata sikudanganya.
You will get him.
Yes.
So what happens is that ukienda buy the album
yes.
to an orange shop near you and you listen from the first song keenly and you even listen and read the lyrics and you read through the lyrics until the last song. If you may find there is no God from the first song and the last song, ndakurudishia do.
Wow.
I'll get you back.
It's a bold
money.
Statement.
I'll get you back your money.
Haya. Kabla tujasema kuhusu mipango uko nayo na miradi, kuna comments hapa. Kuna moja Noreen anasema take a hymn book, in it are songs about nationhood and social relations, something Juliani is doing. Alafu kuna moja hapa anasema always inspired by Juliani, a big fan of him, let nothing prevent his gospel. I love Juliani because he says as it is. Most of us Christians are just religious. Alafu kuna moja amesema kitu
kuna moja hapa in closing nimeulizwa kwa nini Juliani alidu song na Jua Kali.
Yes.
Hiyo ni swali nzuri sana. Nashukuru sana wasikilizaji.
Wewe ni gospel artist, kwa nini ulidu song na Jua Kali?
Wewe nguo ule ni Mkristo alitengeneza?
No. Sijui hata ni nani.
But yeah, I'm just joking. But let me tell you, Jua Kali called me. Mmoja aliniambia nini? Aliniambia, Buddha, I just want to thank God for the far he has gotten me. Aliniambia tu hivyo. Buddha, Jua Kali, wewe unajua Jua Kali ni nani?
Star.
Amenipigia simu ameniambia, I just want to thank God for everything amekuwa akinifanyia. Come studio. Mbio. Anytime. You know why? It's because jamaa Jua Kali amejishusha humility. And he just came to me, I just want to thank God. Who does that most of the time?
Wow.
And I've been given that privilege to do that song with him and to spend time with him. I don't need to preach to him, but how I do things, how I handle my things is enough to preach.
Wow.
So for me, that's what inamaanisha. That's the second thing to finish it up. Tulikuwa na Mpeketoni, tulikuwa na Westgate, tulikuwa na hizi places zote Buddha. Buddha tuko na wase wana overlap every day kwa barabara. And 80% of us are Christian. Who are those people who are overlapping kwa street? Who are those people right now on WhatsApp right now sahi wanatuma message, oh Raila no Osho ama Uhuru angoma Rajkode. Unajua who is doing that? It's us who are Christians. And then we pretend and point fingers to other people. So if you are a Christian Buddha, if you are a real Christian and you sincerely love your God, I'm not expecting perfect people. What I'm expecting is that let's be sincere to ourselves and go back to the closet and ask God our mandate and ask God what he requires of us. That's what we need. Hii story ya kwenda church every Sunday tunajaza tunapatia na masadaka. Sadaka yako ni uchafu mbele ya God because it means nothing if it's not sincere. I'm not perfect. Actually, niko na mashida kaa zote. No, but the most beautiful thing is that I know where to go back to.
Wow.
Awesome parting shot.
In a few seconds, miradi gani unafanya sahi?
Sahi, what we're doing is something called Mtaa Challenge. We are trying to get musicians to come together and do a song when it comes to heritage and elephants. So if you're a musician, go to ndovumusic.com and submit your songs, and then we'll get musicians across the country to do a song when it comes to elephants and culture and of course heritage. And of course my album is out. You can go to an orange shop near you and get a copy. Na ndashukuru sana.
Safi. Buddha,
it's been
all
real.
The best. It's been real. God bless sana and keep doing this. Sio? Swali tu watu wanafaa kujiuliza, if it was Jesus, what will he have done? Jesus angekuwa kwa traffic, angedu nini? Tunarudi na short, tutakuwa na Kidum, ameitwa Illuminati nini? Tunataka kuona asulubiwe. Siende mali ni Tukuza Plus.